Hi, and welcome to another episode of Talking Tech at the VirtuWorks studios. My name is Gianni Delerta, and on my right, we have the CEO of VirtuWorks, Mr. Omar Renteros, and on my left, we have the VP of Sales, Mr. Michael Bumberg. And today we're going to be talking about 5 ways you can thwart phishing attempts. So when we're talking about phishing, we're not talking about going fishing. We're talking about cyber attacks. So Omar, why don't you tell us a couple ways that people attack businesses?
Yeah, sure. So phishing, just to put it in simpler forms, is it's a form of a social engineering attack. Basically, it's where the hacker or the bad actor, right? Because it doesn't have to be specifically a cyber hacker, right? It could, there's many forms to phishing. It's trying to exploit or gather information about you that they don't have. So, just to throw some out there, you can get phished via email. By getting an email from somebody, an email that looks like somebody that you know, where they're asking you for information or to go out and do something. Most people nowadays, are receiving an enormous amount of text messages with links in them, offering you, a car warranty or whatever. That's another form. Text messaging is huge. And there's also phishing with a V, where basically the hackers use a robocalling or other forms of phone call type. It could even be a real person, right? You're getting a call from somebody, the Microsoft support help desk, right? Or I know everybody's probably gotten that one. Or my car warranty is out of service. You want to extend your warranty. It's another phishing type of activity. So there's many forms of phishing, and it's really, they're going to come at you from any avenue that they can communicate with you, where they're able to come back and get some sort of answers or information about you that they didn't have before.
That's great. Thanks for kind of clarifying the real phishing, right? The real threat. So can you give me one way that we can, we're going to talk about 5 different ways, but can we start with one way we can prevent that?
Yeah, sure. So basically coming back to the base threat, right? And since it's it comes at you from a bunch of different attack vectors, right? We'll try to break it down by different types of attack vectors. So the most common that we see around is email phishing, which is basically the hacker gets a big giant list of people that they're going to send messages to, and they just blast out some sort of form email, or in the more sophisticated phishing attacks, very specific information to you. They might know you're an accountant, or that you're a COO or a CEO. They might know names of other people that are in your business, and they create emails that are trying to induce you to do something, like send a wire to somebody, or give up your social security number so they can log into your credit card site. So to start protection there, really it's about securing your email at the point where the email comes into your server. That type of device it's called an email gateway. There's many different brands of email gateways out there. Most of them are pretty good. The most popular ones are for instance, Mimecast, Barracuda. McAfee has, So what's the point of an email gateway? You point your MX records for your email. You point them to the email gateway, and every email that comes into your organization goes into this gateway before actually making it to your mailbox. Now there are email gateways that have additional capabilities, where they really try to protect your identity. These email gateways have something called impersonation protection, right? And more specifically, what they're trying to do is find emails that, where the email sender has a similar name to somebody that's in your organization, because that's a common thing they do. They replace the name of the person in the message so that it looks like your CEO or your CFO or somebody that has authority to send you a message asking for something. They also have a lot of hackers, they'll register domains, right? So one of the features of the email gateway, it might go back and see, well, how new is this domain? And put a message in your email, hey, this is a domain that was just registered, right? Because hackers will go out and, say for instance, your domain is, it's naka.io, right? They might go out and register Naka with a C, so NACA.io.
Or a different ending, right?
Different ending or whatever, something very similar. and blast that email, hope that the other people that they're sending these emails to don't catch the fact that the email address is not really you, it's somebody else, right? So, with an email gateway, it's kind of like a cop, right? It's sitting at the edge of your network, and it's making sure that the emails that are coming in are safe. And also, of course, with your email gateway, on top of everything on top of your email gateway, there's some real simple things that IT guys should be doing out there, like setting up an email DMARC, setting up SPF records correctly, because just by doing those basic things, you kind of kill like 99% of these messages that are coming in, because most email servers nowadays, they're gonna validate the sending mail server by looking at the SPF record. If the mail came from a server that was unknown, it's gonna block it automatically. So.
Got it. So Omar, what do you think is the next best thing for us to prevent these phishing attacks?
Okay, so beyond the email gateway, we usually tell everybody passwords, because if you don't have a strong password, you become very hackable. In today's world, a lot of these hackers, what they're doing is that they'll set up something called a dictionary attack, or like a bulk password attack on your mailbox. And they'll send 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 password attempts, trying to hack your mailbox. If you have a real easy password, like for instance, you use your daughter's name and the year she graduated high school, or what the name of your dog is, or something like that, it makes it really easy for these hackers to try to figure out what your password is, because they're doing some social engineering in advance, trying to know a little bit about you or whatever, and then they use this to try to get in, right? So password policies are super important. Now, what are the things that you should do in a password policy? Well, first, you should basically make sure that the passwords are strong. When we say use strong passwords, we're meaning that they should be a certain length, at least 8 to 12 characters long. They should have special characters. They should have at least a capital letter. They should have a number in it, right? The more of these different types of things you have in your password, the harder it is for the hacker to get in. And of course, beyond just holding a strong password, you could enable multi-form factor authentication on your accounts, right? What does that do? Well, that kind of stops the chance of somebody trying to do a bulk attack against your mailbox, because they send a password, they get challenged with a multi-form factor authentication challenge, and if they can't answer it, then they're shut out. Multi-form factor comes in a bunch of different forms, so it's not just about receiving a text message. For instance, Microsoft allows multi-form factor to be a text message, a phone call that calls you and basically asks you to type pound or whatever to let you in. Or they have an actual app called the Microsoft Authenticator app, where you can link your account to, and then when it challenges you for a multi-form factor, you actually get a pop-up on your phone. You have to approve or decline, and that lets you in. So the best case scenario is to configure MFA on your account to kind of completely dispel the fact that these people could do any brute force attacks or try to hack your password to begin with. But also have strong passwords, have that done right, have a good strong password policy, including expiration. This is something that we usually miss, right? People want their passwords to expire, right? So make sure that you have a good policy in place where your password expires, every 90 days or 120 days.
So next on the list is disable forwarding on email accounts. Omar, can you give us a little bit more information on that?
Yes. So once a hacker, gets your password, is able to log into your email account, most of the time what they do, especially if you have an Office 365 account, there's a lot of bots out there that are actually doing these attacks. It's not really people, right? So it's a script. It's always the same thing. So they brute force attack your mailbox. And once they get your password, the first thing they do is that they go into your mailbox, they enable a forward, they add a rule to basically delete messages that are coming into your mailbox. And what does that do is that now every time a new message comes into your mailbox, you don't receive it. It goes to the hacker instead of going to you. So say you were in the middle of having a conversation with your CFO about wiring $100,000 to somebody, right? Now the hacker comes in and hacks your email account. adds a forward and adds this delete rule. Now, the CFO responds back to you and says, yeah, I could wire the $100,000. Where do you want to send it to? Now the hacker responds back and says, yeah, hey, send it to my account, send it to my whatever account. And now the CFO wires the money to the hacker rather than wiring it to you, right? There's a common way that these guys are getting in and doing this. The other thing they do when they get into your mail account and they disable forwarding and your email account is really, they go through your mailbox, they find a bunch of email addresses that you've communicated with, and they just send a big blast message to everybody, basically trying to get any of those people to come and basically get caught through a phishing, by thinking that the person was you, right? So one way to stop this activity is to globally disable email forwarding on your Office 365 account so that people can't forward their mailboxes out to somebody else automatic, without really having an intent to do that, right? So it's not something that's user serviceable. It would have to be only administrator serviceable.
So next up, caution over comfort when it comes to unexpected communications. Michael, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, Gianni. Well, caution over comfort, we look at it as a state of mind. So very commonly, you will see emails, texts coming from different types of companies that you might be affiliated with. We can talk about FP&L, or Amazon's a good one, where sometimes you would see a text that would come in from Amazon stating, hey, get your $10 coupon. Well, if you're not really expecting that and you have that little discomfort, like you're really not sure, log into the account go into your account normally, take a look at whether or not you see any notifications that you have these coupons. Same thing from a utility bill. If you're not expecting it, make sure you're comfortable by going through directly to the website.
Don't follow these links.
Yeah.
If the link makes you feel weird inside, just skip the link and actually try to engage with the company directly.
So last on the list, develop and adhere to strict contact policies where monetary transactions are concerned, both internal and external. Michael, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure, Gianni. And this is a very, very important topic because people get emails from financial institutions all the time asking for money wires or transfers and stuff like that when you're going through, let's say, a mortgage, right? A mortgage closing or something like that. It's very important to make sure that you're talking to the bank or the financial institution where either they're going to wire to you or you're going to wire to them, to make sure that you know who they are and they know that you know who they are and they know you, and validate that, whether it be with a number of different questions or not. Going over account numbers, details within that transaction, instead of just getting an email or a text saying, hey, wire the money to this account.
Send me money and
just
that's
send
it.
me money and you're good.
You need to really confirm that the person on the other end is the person you're talking about. And also just to add, with internal communications, the same exact thing could happen, right? A CFO could write an email to the CEO saying, hey, do you authorize wiring this money to whatever? And then the CEO be the hacker, say, no, change this to this other account. And then the money goes to the wrong place, right? Something that a lot of businesses have been doing lately, at least to try to help thwart the internal attacks, is by basically adding to the subject message of all the emails coming in from the outside a note, like external message, some sort of tag, so that the employees actually could tell the difference between an internal message and an external message. And that helps them kind of identify, is it really my CFO? Is it really my bookkeeper? I'm really talking to Michael.
Anything that we can identify to help that is huge.
So validation, we're talking about validating who the person is, right? The validation it stands true regardless if it's an external party or an internal party. Always validate the person you're talking to when you're talking about money and sending transactions, or sending any amount of money to anybody.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Talking Tech at VirtuWorks. If you'd like more information, please visit us at virtuworks.com and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.